Hello everyone, hopefully everyone can hear me okay. Let me just sort out things, because they're all a bit loud in my head. There we go. Hopefully everyone's doing okay. It's been a while. So first thing, before we get into retro remake, what we're doing tonight, the big thing I wanted to talk about with you guys is basically apologize for the lack of live streams and interactions in general. Basically, work, we've had big deadlines due for a client, and that's coming to a close now, so it's kind of done, but it's meant weeks of just sleepless nights trying to get stuff done for deadline. So I'm hoping that come towards as we get closer into summer, things will start settling down a lot more, and we can focus a lot more on what we want to do with the channel and doing more content, and more regular live streams rather than just random ones. So yes, apologies for that. Hoping this is the start of us bringing it back to normality as we progress through. So hopefully everyone can hear me okay. Let us know in chat. Hello Jason, good to see you again. The camera's a bit off kilter, isn't it? Let's just... There you go. Okay, so what is Retro Remake? So Retro Remake is our annual series where we take a game each year and we try to remake it inside of Unreal, looking at the game's mechanics, features, and try to put them together ourselves inside of Unreal Engine. And so far to date, we've been working on this year for Day of the Tentacle, a point-and-click adventure title. And so, basically, by following along, you can kind of see some of the tips and tricks of how you could possibly do a point-and-click adventure game. So, yeah, it's been an interesting ride doing this one. We've gone quite far, so all well and good there. Let me just change over to the screen. So, last time we left off, we built a little example test demo area for our character, and we made it so we can click around, and we've got a little scenario where a guard needs a drink, so we have to go buy him a drink and give it to him to let him pass through. Hold up, it's frozen. Give it a second. Bum, bum, bum. What's going on here? Computer's freaking out because I haven't done a live stream for a while. Give that a second. While I wait for that, how is everyone doing? Hopefully everyone's doing okay and things are going well. For live game remakes, how do you mean? What do you want to do, Sohaib? I'm getting better, Gasser. Thank you. Doing okay. Yeah, so it's been a very busy. I mean, request mechanics for remakes for a specific game. You can do, yeah, because we have a series called where we do Let's Creates. So yeah, I mean, if it's something that fits within what we could do in that time frame, then yeah, we can put it in the chat. I'll take a note. Oh my god, what is going on Unreal? I literally just tested it, so it does work. I think the computer in general is crapping out. I need my glasses. Yep. Hey, would you recommend to learn C++ before doing something in UE5? I want to dev a game like Stardew Valley. No, you don't need to. If you want to, you can do, but you don't need to. You can probably make Stardew Valley without any C++. What is going on? Yeah, it might be task manager time. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so we've done a little scenario here where we can walk up to the guard, talk to the guard. Man, I should go for a nice drink. Shame I can't leave my post. Hey, could you get me one? Here's my coin. So now he's giving us a coin, which is in our inventory. And we can go up to our vending machine over here. We can use it. And that's giving us a bottle of pop, which we can then go talk to. That's much better. Here, all for you. I'll let you go through. And off he goes. Okay. So interesting little setup there. There we go. And what I'd like to do is really just polish this experience off before we move on to anything else. Also, there's a whole mechanic of Tentacle where you've got multiple characters that you can switch between. And I kind of want to get that in there too. Hopefully today as well. So, just bringing in something. Hold on. Can't stop yawning. Add to our project. Add this to the project. So just adding some resources to the project. Oh, my eyes keep watering. So about gas, yeah, maybe, yeah, we'll in the future cover gas. Okay, first things first, let's liquid pouring out of a bottle. No, you're gonna have a hard time with that one. Yeah, it'd be a particle effect, but I'm not too sure what good ones there are to use for that. Yeah. Import done. Oh, by me. Okay. Oh, I'll just wait for this thing to do its thing. So I want to polish this thing off. So we want to be able to swap characters. How do you think we should swap characters? We've got a menu down here, and I'm pretty certain we already answered this question before. We put little buttons on the side. I believe they actually may be the ones we use to switch characters. Oh, God, yes, fine. There we go. So let's tidy up some things here. So first of all, let's get our icons in there correctly as we should have them. So I'm going to go to my scene manager. This is our dialogue table. This is how we're doing dialogue. In this instance anyway. Okay. If you want to see how we've done that, go back, watch those parts. Inventory, items, here we are. So coin, we want to get a coin icon. Gold, there must be one in there. I just bought in, there you go, gold. Okay, done. Drink. Bottle. Water. Drink. Hang on. Let me find. it's got to be one in that survival. I bought in a survival kit. What's there something in here we can use? Crafting. Can use one of those, I guess. Yeah, through lack of options, we'll just do this one. There you go. Okay, let's go to the UI. And here's our heads-up display. And we've got this button set up for the inventory widget. We'll change that to use a new icon. We'll use chest or bag. We'll use probably a bag. Yeah, there we go. Very nice. Oh my god, my eyes. I'm a bit tired. I'm always a bit tired. So we just finished up a big project. Well, almost finished a big project for a big important client. So I'm looking forward to having that done so I can get back onto track with some interesting things we're working on. But yeah, okay. So yeah, I think we made these the other characters, didn't we? Okay. Now going to be 3 characters. So what I'm thinking of doing is we're going to have 2 always on show, 1 collapsed, and that 1 collapsed is going to be one related to you. So for example, we'll have 3 in here like this, and then 1 will be set to collapse when they've been picked. So we'll leave it like that, and that'll do there. Okay. Next for these sort of manager icons we're doing, just so we keep them a bit tidy, let's just scale these down a little bit. Something like that. Just fixing these up so they're not crazy big. Not blocking our view of anything really. Okay. Yes, so here's our scene set up. One thing we've got to do as well, I noticed, was when I want the character to walk through the door, they don't walk through the door because the door blocks the nav mesh. Okay. Now, if you've got a nav mesh that's being blocked by an access point, which will then be available to them, you need to make it so that this is going to be a modifier that you turn off and on. So we'll go down to nav, and you want navigation. What does it say? Okay, the door's not okay. So the door's set to not affect navigation, but I think this is a holdover from the posts because I think they are set to. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So we just tied it up a little bit with a blocking volume, with a nav modifier volume. We'll change that to null. As long as you've got a path through it, you're good. Okay. And we're going to block off this entrance here too whilst I'm at it. There you go. Okay, so we've got a path going through. Now we don't want our character to try to go through there. So when we click around on the scene, they can't go through there. There you go. So here I have my coin. Go down here. There's the coin icon. Use the machine. There's bottle of pop. Talk to. Let you go through. and you go through. Nice. Okay, looking a bit nicer. Yeah, so it's a bit tired as always as game dev life. So, okay, looking good. Right, so we're getting tidier, getting neater. That's what we're looking at trying to do. So next thing I think it'd be nice to have is a notification to notify when the player's collected an item and when they've lost an item. So we'll do a notification tray system. So let's go into our game folder, UI, and I'm going to create a little notification system tray. So interface. So it contains two parts. This you need the tray itself. So W notification tray, and then we need another one which is just the notification itself. And the reason why we do a tray is because we're going to queue it, because you don't want it to overlap all the time. It'll get messy, and yeah. So we're going to queue it, and it will just complete the queue as it adds notifications to the screen. Okay, so the notification, let's design that first. So this will be used for both adding items and losing items. So we need to remember that when we're designing this. So I'll do a very simple design here. Going to have the icon on display with an image. So when you're building a widget, build it out with like placeholder items like this what we call a wireframe, sort of to block it out. Don't worry about any details just yet. You just want to get a feel for it. Oh, text. Like this. And I'm going to wrap that with a size box as well. I'm going to change it from field screen to design on screen, so I can see what it's going to look like. Width override, height override. Width we'll do 500. Height we'll do 100. Maybe less than that. We'll do 60. Yeah, sure. And when we're doing this, obviously, this allows us to see what things we need to fix straight away. So this will be centered in the height. Give it some padding on the left of like 30. The image itself here, we're going to do center, 64 by 64. Actually, I'm going to do 32 by 32. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the render settings. And on the scale here, I'm going to change that to 2 by 2. And you get this little cool overlapping effect. I'm actually going to make it a little bit bigger. 2.5 by 2.5. Yeah, there we go. So that look quite neat. Let's increase the padding on that. Now we've scaled that, we'll just increase that there. Cool. Okay, we need to indicate whether or not we're adding an item or losing an item. So what do you think? A bit of text or like a symbol or something? You know, what do you think would be a better way of doing this? Thinking maybe you could do text above it, like added something onto it, or collected, or I don't know. So if I was going to do that, I'd probably wrap the horizontal box here with an overlay. Set the box to overlay stretch. Text on the overlay. I'm going to change that text to say the word added. I'm going to change it to black. And I'm going to change its render location. So it goes up like this. Something stylized like that. And we get, say, subtracted or lost or gained, you know. Something fun like that would do, I think. Okay, so now we need, once you've laid out your wireframe of how you want it to look, if I'm going to make that all caps, I'm going to change the transform policy here to upper. Yeah, there we go. So what I'm going to do is, now you've laid out the wireframe, is then indicate what's going to be variable, so what's going to be changing. So the text here will be changing, so we'll tick that box there, and this will be item name. Image itself would be image thumbnail. The added or lost we're going to make variable as well. And we'll do text. I don't know. Status, we'll call it. That'll do. Okay. All good. So we need to know what item we're adding to this. So all we really need to know is two things. Are we adding or subtracting? And then also what item it is. So the item will be a data asset. So do item, and that'll be a DA item, which refers to our data asset. And we want that to be editable and exposed on spawn. And I also want to tell it when it's been added or not. So we're going to go and do is added as a boolean. And make it editable and exposed on spawn as well. Okay, that's our notification done there. On the construct, we just replace our name and thumbnail with regards to this. So text name, set text, and that'll come from our item. Get name. Hey, how you doing? Thumbnail. Set brush from texture. Thumbnail, is that what I call it? Yep, get thumbnail. And then we'll change this status text. Oh, hello. Set text based upon the boolean. So with that, I'm going to do the select node. Select is added. If it's true, the word will be added. False would be lost. Okay, next is the animation of this thing. So I'll just make it just slide in and a fade away. So I'm going to go to the animations tab at the bottom. I like to dock it because it's weird otherwise, I feel like. And then we're going to go to new animation and call it appear. And with the animation selected, you get this nice new border thing in 5.3, I think, onwards. It gives you that. So it makes it very clear. Because one problem always was the case, if you were changing values and you accidentally selected an animation, it would affect the animation, not the actual thing, which was a pain in the butt. But now they fixed that and makes it more obvious. So with this appear here, I want it to appear from the left, and then after a few seconds, fade away. So appear here, we're going to do add track. And we'll do this. Transform. So this will affect the whole thing. And the translation for this is going to start off screen. So imagine the screen's here on the right, the edge of the screen. So translation here at the start. We're going to move it over to there. Okay, I'll do a bit more. 550, there you go. And hit keyframe. I'm now going to move that across. And usually you want these to be quite quick. 0. Like that. And then we'll give it some time. Add another keyframe for the time. And then I want to make it fade away, raise up, fade away. So do that. And we'll do something like this. And then make it fade away with the render opacity. So start set at 1. And move that across. And bring it down to 0. So the full effect looks like this. Oh, wait. I've got to tell it to be 1 at the start here too. There we go. Why is it doing that? That should be 1 at the start. There you go. Okay. Very simple notification pop-up. Okay, that'll do there. Right, next is the notification tray. So notification tray is going to be managing what notifications it's going to show. So this thing needs to know a sort of idea of what's going to be in what notification in what order. So I'm going to use a notification struct to do this. Now, the reason why I'm doing notification struct is because I want to store two things about each notification. I want to know about what item it's showing, and also that boolean about whether or not we're adding it or losing it. I mean, that's very important. We need to know that. So let's create a struct for this. We go to blueprint, structure, F, notification tray. Open it up. And it's going to have the item. And it'll be DA item. So that way we know what item we're looking for. Will you do procedural map assembly using pre-made modules to sometimes in the future? Yeah, I mean, never say never. Sure. Is added. Yeah. Okay, so we've got this structure. Go back to my tray. And my variables here, I'm going to add that list. Okay. So notification queue. F notification tray. And this would be an array because I want it to be a list. Okay. And I want it to say we'll have a function. So typically speaking, whenever you make any sort of variable inside a widget, function, whatever it may be, you usually want to make functions or events that manage that variable. So we've got this queue here. I want to add notification to queue. And so that'll be just getting this array, add, and as it's coming across, it's probably not going to be a struct coming across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split that and add these to the front here. That's just going to add it to the end here. Now, as well as adding it to a notification queue, I probably want to say remove from the notification queue. So remove notification from queue. So again, you're thinking of functions that manage those variables. So very simply, we're going to get notification queue, and we'll just remove the first one. Remove an index. We'll just make the index a variable like that. Okay, very simple. Okay, so we now want to do an event system to respond to this as well. So I want to know we want to set a timer to basically trigger the queue and also then spawn the ones in. So I need to spawn in an event called display notification. So this is going to create a widget, and it's going to create a widget of the notification, and you see item and added. Get the queue, and I'm just going to get the first one. Get a copy of the first one, 0. Split it open, item is added. Okay, so that'll create the widget. I now need to add it to the actual container, which I don't really have yet. So I'm going to do a vertical box and tick the value there. Notification tray, we'll call it. Like that. Okay, on create notification tray, we're going to add it to that tray. Add child to vertical box, and that'll do that. Now the notification here needs to know when it's finished displaying it, and also so it can then trigger up the next one. So I'm going to go to notification. On the graph here, on the construct, we're going to get that animation and play it. So get appear, play animation, forward. And when you create an animation in a widget, it already creates events that you can use as well. So if I do animation finished and choose appear, the one in the brackets, this is now tied to that animation. So when this is finished, I'm going to do remove from parent. Like that. Okay. And it's on that point we probably want to do an event dispatcher to say, hey, this has been removed now. So on finished, we'll call it. Now call that out. Nice. Okay, next. Back on our tray, when we create a notification widget, that's going to call the appear trigger. And then we're going to take the return value here, related to the widget itself, and do bind event on finished. Okay, and drag that down to a custom event. Pardon me. On finished animation. And that's going to then remove notification from the queue. Okay, so it removes the first one from the queue. And then we want to see if it's going to have to do it again. So on display notification, we'll do another check there. Okay. Now this needs a condition, either at start of display notification or here. And I'm thinking of putting it at display of notification. So the condition is we're going to have a function can display notification. And that's going to output a boolean. Return, we'll call it. And we've got a couple of conditions here. First of all, the condition is, do we actually have anything in a notification queue? So get that is empty. And it's not empty. So it's not empty is a good one. And we currently don't have a notification in the tray. So for that, I need to have this widget here identified with a create variable. We call it current notice. Put that in like that. Yeah, and then when it gets to the end here, before we do display notification, I'm just going to clear the current notice out, so it becomes empty again. Let's go back to can display notification, and I want current notice here, and we'll do is valid. In fact, actually, what I'll do is, rather than doing that, is we'll convert this to a validated get, just to make it a little bit tidier. So I can just do that there, and then it's not empty there. Okay, so it's not valid. It's valid. And if that is valid, I'm going to return false. Okay, so on display notification at the start here, we're going to do can display notification. Put that into a branch. True. Okay. So our notification tray is going to do as such. When we add a notification to queue, we're going to add it to the queue here, and then we're going to do display notification. Now, if we already are displaying one, it's going to do can display notification and turn false. But if it hasn't, then great, we can carry on going, create the widget, add it to the vertical box, wait for it to finish its animation, remove it, clear the notice, try again, see if there's any more. So what we've got to do now is add our notification tray to the HUD, and then start things off by calling it. So let's go to our heads-up display, and add notification tray to the canvas panel, and I'll put that on the right hand side. Something like that. Okay. Right, so now we need to say we want to add a notification to this thing. Now, chances are we're going to have notifications coming from all sorts of directions. So, most importantly though, is our inventory. So, it all goes through there. So, go to our inventory component, go to add to inventory, and this is where I'm doing the notification stuff. So, we need to get the heads-up display, which I can't remember where we're putting it. I'm assuming we did a HUD class, or we did it on this. Hold on. We did it on the player controller. So, get player controller, cast to adventure controller, HUD. Wrong one. HUD reference. And then we get a notification tray. And we're going to do add notification to queue. And there we go. So it gets the player controller, gets the tray, tells the tray to do add to queue, and the item we're adding here is going to be this new item. So I can just search for new item. And because we're in the add to inventory function, I'm going to tick the box. Okay, and I'm going to copy that for remove from inventory. So just do that over here. And cast to adventure. Must not have copied that. I'll do there. So exactly the same, except our added here is going to be turned off, and the item is just called item. So you just need to search for item. And there we go. So, with that now done, hopefully, that's it. Talk to coin. And there's my coin in the bag. So this one's going to do two things. It's going to subtract the coin and it's going to add the pop. So use added bottle of pop, lost coin. There you go. Very nice. Okay. Looking good. I like it. Okay. Okay, any questions? So if you want to see more details about the notification system, I've got videos on it so you can check it out. You can even make it display like multiple at a time if you really want it to. Yeah. Okay, so multiple characters. How's this going to work? So our character setup, I think at the moment we're just using the third person character, aren't we? Just using this guy. Yeah. So we need to make three distinctive characters. So yeah, let's do that. I'm going to create a child of this. And let's give us some names. I'm going to pick names from the chat. So what name should I name our characters? Let me know in chat. Whilst you catching names up, I'm going to make them more visually distinct. Don't think I have any characters that are cheap enough to pull in. Let me have a look. Any cheap characters I can bring in? Nah. That's fine. What name should I give our characters? Which one is this? I can't remember the names of the characters in the Tentacle. Are the previous recordings? They are. They are all available on YouTube channel. So our characters here. Let's call this one. I'm gonna go Sebastian. As you over there, and we'll give him many 3. You be the red one. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong. Yeah, it's this one. That's wrong. That's okay. There we go. Okay. Who else we got in here? Diolimus. We'll call you as well. Diolimus. And Diolimus, you can be the blue one. Yep. Nice. Oh, you're welcome, Shifty. I'm glad you're finding it out. What I'm doing, duplicate. And we'll name this one Jason after Jason in the chat. Oh, Mike, Tony, Liz, is that what the names are in the main game? That's fine. Sebastian, Diolimus, and Jason will do just fine here. So, in our level here, we want our characters to be swappable, which means our adventure controller needs to keep track of those said characters and spawn them all in correctly. So, to make life a little bit easier, I'm going to delete the player start here and just place all 3 characters in there to begin with. So, blueprints. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'll go to our adventure controller, as this will be the one that's doing all the work. Now, at the moment, the character is set to be set by the player character here, which actually might be a good idea to do. Is no. That's fine. We'll just because this won't work anymore. That's great. Actually, what I'll do is I'm gonna delete the blue one here and add the player start in. Basic player start, and I'm gonna tell my game mode here to choose the blue one, which is Diolimus. Okay, now I'll do that. So the controller's going to do that, but I want to get all the characters and store them as possible targets. So I'm going to get all actors of class, and because they all inherit from the same one, I get a 3rd-person character and promote that to a variable. Characters. Okay, and when I push buttons, I want to swap to different characters. So let's go to make a function in here called swap character, and for this we're going to want the input to be an index, so we know which one we are referring to. And we're going to get our characters. Get a copy of the index, set that to the player character reference, set, yeah, there you go, that we've got here, because we're using that for our camera. It might be already on the camera. Oh yeah, there you go. Rotate to move to, yeah, that's fine. So that's all good. So swap character should just do that. I think that's all I need to do. I think the camera externally should manage that itself, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Hoagie, Laverne, and Bernard. Bernard, that's the name I remember. I forgot the other two. Um, so here we have that set up. We now need to make our UI switch between them. So we're going to go... I'll make a very easy test for this, actually. So when I'm making stuff, by the way, if I've got to make something that's for UI, so if I click a button on UI, it will do something. I usually put a little debug thing in first before I mess about with that, just to make sure the logic I've got currently in there works. So I'd push the 1 key, for example. I want to swap character to 0. And we're going to copy paste that to 2. Paste that for 3. 1, 2. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 key should swap between the characters. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3. But the question is, they should now also show a different inventory system too, because they should have their own inventories. So when I talk to him, I get a coin. So it's not showing in that inventory because I think it's being added to the other character's inventory setup. So if I switch to... No. Okay, I'm going to get an error probably. No, okay, so what happened there? So our guard here is triggering an event to give us a thing. It's giving us an event. The scene manager. I forgot what I done it now. Did I do it on the level blueprint? Event trigger 3, 4. Start dialogue. Add to inventory coin. Get inventory. Get controller. Get the current player character. Oh, it should be right. And then add to. Yeah, that should be right. So why is that not working now then? That should work. I think maybe the UI hasn't been updated. Maybe it is actually working. It's just the UI isn't reflected. So that says coin there. Right, okay. I think the UI bit needs to update when I change character. So I need to tell my controller here, when I do swap character, I'm going to have an event dispatcher say that, hey, this has happened, the character's changed. So on character swap, and we'll just call that out. And I want to know which character to swap to. So I'm going to get the third person character object reference and plug that into an input on here. So character, third person character, and plug that in. So now let's go to our HUD. And in particular our inventory widget. So we want this thing to change and update and reflect whenever we change characters. So on refresh content we're doing that. On construct we're doing this. So we want to do get player controller cast to adventure controller on swap on character, bind event on character swap, and we're going to now bind an event to that on swapped, and now we've got a new character. Now this is going to change something because on display content, controller, player character, we want it just to call that then, don't we? So we call display content or refresh? What do I want to do? I saw a refresh happening. Clear. Yeah, I think we're just going to call refresh. Let's see what happens. Talk to the character. Get the coin. Coin's on blue. Change to red here. No coin. Change to green. No coin. Change to blue. Coin. Yay! It works. So, yeah, nice. Liking that. So we've got 3 independent characters, each with their own inventory. Inventory we've improved greatly with some notification system to make it a bit clearer. So I can use that. Get the bottle of pop. Nice. Lost the coin. Talk to the guard. He's happy. He lets us through. Cool, 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 cool. And yeah, just gonna raise it up slightly. Yeah, nice. All right. Okay. Other things to improve upon. Well, I think that'll do for today, actually. I think the next thing we want to do probably... Well, what part of it do we need to... I think... Should keep developing more test scenarios, or should we do something like the save system next time? I think the save system might be the strong option to do next time. So we can save not only our inventories, but also where the characters each are. Because in the original game, the character could be in separate locations, not in just one map. So we want to be able to swap to different maps with the characters and change their locations. So I think that'll be what's on the agenda for next time we get together for this project. But I'm happy with the progress so far. I think it's looking good. I say with these sort of projects, the adventure type games, once you've got the core systems in there, that's what you're developing first off and foremost, is these core systems. Once you've got those in there, the rest is just content. So it's just a matter of working through that content. And we're getting closer and closer to having the core system done. So it's just then content creation. So, yeah, not looking too bad. But yes, that is it for today. So thank you very much for joining us. I know, again, apologies for the lack of live streams and lack of content as much as possible coming out. Been very, very big work, but hopefully it's all done now, and we can focus our attention back onto what we want to do best on the channel. So lots of cool stuff on the way. Bill at the moment is editing away like crazy at the weekend, so hopefully he'll get those done and uploaded for Patreon members this week. But other than that, take care. Have a great rest of the week. And if you're going to be at Unreal Fest in Prague, I'm going to be there. So I'll see you there in Prague if you're there. The question time will be a bit weird because we're doing it live from Prague. So we'll see what happens. But thank you very much for joining us. Take care. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.